All right, let's go over some of our geometry things. So the first thing you need to know that every triangle, the interior angles add up to 180. So whatever's in A plus whatever's in B plus whatever's in C has to equal 180. The second thing is the exterior angles of a triangle add up to 360. So D plus E plus F equals 360. Another thing about exterior angles, every exterior angle is the sum of the two angles it is not touching. So C is actually the same thing as A plus B. Okay? Now, if I were to give you two sides of a triangle, how would I know all possible options for the third side? So let's pretend A is 7 and B is 12. Okay? The two options would be subtract them and then adding them. And those are the options. Any number that's greater than 19 would be too big, because if you make these two lines into a straight line, it would make 19. And you can't make a triangle if two of the lines are making one line, meaning a triangle with only two sides. It cannot be done. So that is too big. 5 is too small, because that would mean that the 7 completely closes and lands on the 12 and stays there. Again, two lines linking in a different way, but still linking, and that does not make a triangle. So this is the smallest it could be, and this is the largest it could be. Okay, now it can't be 19 and it can't be 5, but it can be 5.1 and it can be 18.9. All right, last one, Pythagorean's theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. C is the only important one. A and B are interchangeable. It does not matter which one is which. C is the only one that has to go in a very specific spot. So this only works for right triangles. So C squared in this situation would be the hypotenuse, is always the longest side, or the one that the 90 is not touching, or the one that the 90 is pointing at. So this is going to be x all by itself squared. Then it's going to be the square root of 13 squared. So a squared plus b squared, 2 square root of 2 squared. Now if I move these, nothing changes, nothing at all. So 13 squared, the square root of 13 squared cancels, leaving me with just a 13. Now 2 squared and the square root of 2 being squared. So 2 squared is actually a 4, and that's multiplying with whatever this is. So the square root of 2 squared cancels, leaving me with a 2. 4 times 2, leaving me with an 8. Equals x squared. Add these together, I'm left with 21 equals x squared. So how do I leave x squared by itself? I square root, they're opposites. So I'm left with the square root of 21 equals x. Now, Pythagorean's theorem works on right triangles. Converse of that is, if it works, it is a right triangle. Okay? If it is a right triangle, then the Pythagorean's theorem works. Converse, if the Pythagorean's theorem works, then it is a right triangle. So I'm going to check if these three would make a right triangle. 3, so 5 is the largest side, so that's going to be C. These two are interchangeable. I'll show you right now, it does not matter. So 4 squared equals 16, 3 squared equals 9, and 5 squared equals 25. If I add these together, I'm going to get 25 equals 25. That checks out, which means this is a right triangle. And that's it.